1 out of 8 adults cannot read these words. They are functionally illiterate. More than 1 million are high school graduates. Many spend a lifetime hiding their illiteracy from their coworkers, their friends, and even their families by bluffing it.
Oh, God, there's been an accident on Route 2. My tanker and a car. I got a full load, it could blow.
Where on Route 2?
The exit. Greenfield exit.
Which Greenfield exit?
I don't know. I wanted the West Greenfield, but it wasn't the West Greenfield exit, I don't think.
Mister, look around. Where are you?
I don't know. I don't know.
Are there any signs, street signs?
I can't read. I don't know how to read. Help me, please.
This man is not alone. 23 million Americans cannot read or write. Now think about it. 23 million adult Americans cannot read the warning on a medicine label, or a letter from their child's teacher, or even the weather report from the daily newspaper. It could be your next-door neighbor, your best friend, that businessman sitting across from you on the bus with a newspaper tucked under his arm. Maybe even you. I'm Clevant Derricks. I appeared on the Bisco Showcase television movie, Bluffing. The Bisco is one of the many corporations working to eliminate illiteracy in America. They recognize that the problem can't be ignored and it won't go away by itself. That's why they've worked so hard developing creative ways in fighting illiteracy and improve the basic skills of workers everywhere. In the movie, I play Cal Michaels, a steel plant worker. And Dennis Weaver plays my boss, Jack Dugan. Well, Jack Dugan is the kind of guy who seems to have it all. Chances are there's a guy like Jack where you work. It's a familiar story. He's a foreman at the steel plant. He's popular with the men on the floor and the management upstairs. There doesn't seem to be anything Jack Dugan can't do if he puts his mind to it. He has an adoring wife, 2 great kids, and a beautiful little granddaughter. And he coaches his son Rusty's high school hockey team. Looks like a pretty good life, right? But there's a problem, a big problem. I told you the movie is called Bluffing It. Jack Dugan's been bluffing a lot of people for a long time.
Time to get to work, Cal. What's it?
That's what it says.
Well, why don't you show me how smart you are and explain it to me?
See what I mean? Jack's no dummy. He's got to be on his toes all the time to hide a problem like illiteracy. Think of what someone like Jack could really do if he didn't have to use all of his energy hiding the fact that he can't read and write. Bluffing it is no way to live your life. It means covering up and making excuses day in and day out. Sometimes it calls for some real imaginative thinking.
Excuse me, you took Class A exam, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm preparing for the test myself. Could I have your copy?
Help yourself.
Thanks a lot.
I'm standing in the middle of New York City, Times Square. Some people call it the crossroads of the world. 1 out of 8 people that you see here is just like Jack Dugan. They can't read or write. 1 out of 8. Think of all that wasted potential. Something so basic as reading a story to a child can be a scary and humiliating experience.
That's not like Clampy.
Well, of course it is. You see, they got lost between the town here and the lake. Huh?
That's not what it says. Mommy, Clampy's reading it right. Tell him to read it right.
Honey, Grampy's being creative. He's just making up a new story from the old one. That's fun, too, isn't it?
But I want the story what?
And an innocent situation can turn like that into an ugly confrontation.
Read this stuff. BDOS, error on X, bad sector, press escape. It sounds like asteroid. Warning. Data exhausted. Fatal error, what do they do? Kill you if you make a mistake?
Put it down, sir.
Mr. Duggan, you've just exhausted your data. Now you die.
I said put it down.
Sorry.
Well, he stuck the damn book in my face.
You can see that bluffing your way through life is a painful, lonely game. It sure is for Jack Dugan. Who in the world can you really trust? A lot of times, illiterate people have someone who helps them get by, sort of a silent collaborator who smooths the way, reads things for them, that kind of thing. Someone who helps them keep the big secret. It could be a co-worker, a good friend, or family member. Problem with that is that it doesn't help the illiterate person. It just keeps him illiterate. For Jack Dugan, that person is his wife, Margaret. She's been there for him all the way. But when the frustrations build in Jack, his anger turns against the one person he loves most.
Teach me to read.
I can't.
Yeah, you can. You're a smart lady.
Oh, Jack, we've tried. It doesn't work. We've tried.
Here, don't just read it to me. Teach me.
How? I've tried. You even tried night school and quit. You just won't memorize the words.
I can't.
Why? You memorize everything else. Why can't you just memorize this?
I can't. Don't you understand? I don't know what it says.
The workplace is where it really gets tough. Imagine trying to operate a computer when you can't read. You can't do it.
Type start. I can't. Good.
What do you mean?
I can't do it.
You can't do it. You mean you won't do it?
I can't do it! Jack, you are not a hero. You're not saving any of your men's jobs. All right. You're fired, you hear me?
When Jack gets fired, he's forced to do something he thought he would never have to do. Pound the pavement looking for work. That's no easy thing when you can't even read a street sign.
This North Atlantic storage.
The side door. Can't you read?
I was wondering, maybe, could you give me a hand with this? My glasses are being repaired. I just left my glasses on the bus. My other pair's at home. Would you mind?
The workplace of the future will be increasingly automated. And the workers who used to work on the line will need to know more and more about computer technology. And to understand computers, you sure have to know how to read and write. Jack Dugan found that out the hard way. That's why Nabisco is committed to having remedial programs available to almost all of its manufacturing personnel in the United States by the end of this year. This is the New York Public Library. It's one of the biggest, best libraries in the world. Now, for most of us, there's nothing very scary about a library. But just imagine what a library represents to an illiterate person. It's everything he's never been able to do, never been able to be, staring him right in the face. That's why when Jack decided after his accident to face up to his problem and seek out the literacy program at his local library, he was doing the hardest and maybe the bravest thing he's ever done.
No, that's fine. That's the whole purpose of the evaluation. Now I know there are things we can do to help you. Jack, there are tens of millions of people like you who can't read, but who we could help.
I don't need help. I mean, I need teaching, but I don't need help. I'm not stupid. I'm not ignorant. I'm not illiterate.
Jack, you're not stupid. You're not ignorant. But you are illiterate. You don't know how to read and write. And that's all illiterate means. You just don't have a skill I have.
Exactly.
Nobody ever said that anything worthwhile comes easy. That sure is true about reading. Jack has a whole lifetime of covering up to deal with.
All my life, you've been on me to be a jock, to be something I'm not. You wanted me to be a phony because you're the biggest phony of them all. You never give a damn about anything I really wanted.
That is not true.
It is true. Sports was it. If I didn't have headgear or a helmet, forget it. You never had time for anything else. I'm too busy. Not now. Later. What were you so busy doing all that time?
You mean you haven't figured it out yet? Or have you just been waiting for me to say it?
Yes. Say it.
I was so busy trying to hide from you, I couldn't do anything else, okay? I couldn't read your stories, your homework, your report cards, okay? Sports, yeah, that was the only place where I thought I could teach you something, okay? Oh, I was a phony. You think it felt good? It felt lousy. All my life, I've been feeling inside what you've been feeling since you found out about it. Well, it stinks, doesn't it?
Those are some really heavy feelings Jack's dealing with. It may sound strange, but a lot of people feel threatened when an illiterate person learns how to read and write. That's because reading is power. Once you know how to read, there is nothing that was ever written down that you can't know. It's like feeling that you're free for the first time in your life. And as the whole world opens up to you, you have more fun reading than you've ever imagined. Don't let anyone ever tell you that knowing how to read and write isn't important, or that if you can't read, you're better off that way. It's just not true. So please, if you can't read or write, especially if you'd like to help someone who can't, call this toll-free number for more information. 1-800-228-8813. By the way, Jack Dugan is doing just fine now. The way he feels these days, the sky's the limit. And he's able to do something for his granddaughter that he was never able to do for his children. Read her favorite story to her.
He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep. But I have promises. I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep.